Hi, my tarot bumblebees. It's Ethany. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you are brand new here. Today, I am sharing my indie edition of the decks that I'm really naughty and I didn't get to and I left on my shelf for 2024. And this is going to be all of the Oracle and Tarot decks that I was sent or purchased throughout 2024 that I didn't get to because, as many of you know, 2024 kicked my butt from January to December. So I'm rounding everything up to share them with you. I know how important it is as an indie creator myself to share what you get in your boxes when you purchase things and to show you the quality and what all the cards look like. So I'm going to swap over the cameras and we're going to go through those decks together. As always, where to find the decks and go and support the creators will be in the description box below. So let's do this thing and go through those lonely decks that have been waiting. The Symdala Tarot is by Jennifer Cooper Stidley. And look at all the beautifulness that was sent. First, we have this really gorge coin. Yes, no. And if you don't know Jennifer, I have shared quite a few of her creations over the years. And we have some really fun stickers. So I'm going to say that's the High Priestess. That is the Queen of Wands. And this one is Strength. But we'll get to that. So Jennifer really specializes in the symbols of the tarot, and this is a round deck. Beautiful backs. We have a matte yellow finish, a little square box, which is super cute, and a guidebook, which of course is going to just be so fabulous to study with. Now, I know not everyone is into like round decks, but what an incredible, first of all, what an incredible study deck, because you have everything here, the astrological planets, all those sorts of things. The only thing I will say is if you don't subscribe to the specific astrology to one of the cards, it might be difficult, but we have the element, tree of life, and the activation for the mandala. And this would also be really fantastic for spells. You could use these as actual spell cards yourself, or you could use these as something you would use with a tarot spell, activating this with crystals or with another, whatever kind of magic you do. But it's so inviting, and I mean, I love pretty much anything that's symmetrical. Like, it's like, ooh, butterflies, you know. What a fantastic study of the cards. Okay, so I got that wrong. The other one was Strength, not the Queen of Wands. The Hermit. It's really, really cool. So all of these symbols are found on Jennifer's other decks, but now they're in this round aspect. And what's really interesting is if you shuffle this and say you pull this card like here, then maybe this message of Sagittarius will mean something to you. If you pull it here, then this tree of life correspondent may be calling to you, as well as the overall symbols and the overall deck itself. It's beautiful card stock. It's that it's matte. It is, I guess, the rose petal, but it's not, it doesn't feel as petally. It feels more buttery. I don't know. It's a weird thing to say, but it's really beautiful. This is a fantastic way to learn the cards and the symbols in the cards, because you have them all there. And we all know, right, that not all tarot cards are going to have all of these symbols in every iteration of the tarot that is out there. I mean, that's just ridiculous to think that, but it can help you with some of the classic decks. And of course, the colors in the background are also really important and have meaning. But this is a really great deck for, again, like I'm saying, like study, magic. I would use this in workshops for various like things. You could do so much with this. You could journal just on the keywords. You could do a study in the astrology, so take out all the cards that are connected to one part of the astrology. You could work through the deacons with this. Like there's a lot you could do. So I'm just going to quickly share with you the rest of it. I actually don't mind round decks. I think that they can be a bit tricky to shuffle, but there are definitely ways to do it. And some of my favorite decks are round decks. I have lots of them, actually. Gorgeous. Okay. So just because I'm sure someone's going to ask, I shuffle, you can just shuffle round decks, you know, under, over. You can shuffle them. That's usually the way that I do it. You could also just, you know, there's lots of ways you can move that. I really love the back as well. I'm going to quickly show you the book. So inside we have, here you can see the cards on the side easily with the titles. And then we have keywords, symbols, astrological information, element, tree of life, quick takes, activation is devotion, and then a little bit about the entomology of the activations. That's really cool. So lots of ways you could work with this. And mandala is the psychological expression of the totality of the self. What a great way to end that little bit. And then we have spreads as well. I mean, Jennifer absolutely knows what she's doing with her symbol work. So fabulous little deck. Rise Again is a creation by a local artist and deck creator, Vanessa Vorbach. Sorry if I butchered that. We met at a local author creator event here in Vancouver, BC, and this is her creation. So beautiful box, and it is magnetic and everything fits into this folio sized and style. The deck comes in a beautiful Rise Again band, which you can wear if you like, but it fits around the belly of the deck. And then we have a big, juicy book. So let's look through the cards first. Really stunning design. The design elements in this deck are really stunning. It's quite big. I think it's even bigger than my Awakened Soul Oracle, which is quite big. Let's have a look. This is, oh, no, wait, I might be wrong. It's a little wider. So it's a little wider compared to the Awakened Soul Oracle. But you know me, I like big decks. And this is a deck that is meant to be experienced, and you're meant to take your time with this deck. So every card has gilding on it, which is why I'm going to be doing this, because otherwise you can't see it. It has buttery, that petal feel to the cardstock. So it's absolutely gorgeous. Keyword with this beautiful design image. So it is minimalist, but in a way of like, I really enjoy this deck as a jump off point. I could see like Scream. I mean, how many decks do you see with Scream in it? What a great expression. I tell people to yell all the time. I'm like, you need to get it out. So there is a reason, and a very thoughtful reason, for all of the cards and all the keywords in this deck. I really love the pastel-esque tones. You've got a bit of that dark teal in there as well. But you could work with this as intended through, I'll show you the guidebook in a minute. But you can also use this as a way to build, work for yourself, whether it is a spread that you want to create for the week, or you want to pull a card, like this, and then build a reading around that for yourself, and like how to explore that keyword. Yeah, breathe. Really gorgeous. So the guidebook is nice and big. I don't want to like bend the guidebook too much, but I also want to show it to you. So this is the stamping is everywhere. And as a design person, like as someone who really appreciates good design, I love that. So we have the index here for the cards, and then we jump in. Okay. I created this collection of action cards with the hope of offering to you a supportive tool, not only to embrace the darkness, but help you walk back into the light. So you're getting quite a bit in here. So questions sometimes to ask yourself. The senses. So yeah, it's just such a beautiful, beautiful deck to work with. And there's the author and creator for writing and journaling and self-expression and exploration. And so this is the Rise Again deck by Vanessa Vorbach. The Lost Forest Tarot is by Chelsea Santamaria, and I came across this via YouTube, and I was immediately drawn in. So I managed to snag a copy. I don't know if there's any left, but you get I'm really not a fan of pullouts. Really at all. I hate them. But this one seems like it's something that probably should be kept, like the Sphinx in absolute stillness, Warden of Secrets in the subconscious mind, like an iceberg. Yeah, I'm really not into there's just the practical application of this. There is none, right? Is that me? I don't know, but I don't feel like these are very practical. Cheap, yes. Do I know that independent decks are expensive to create? Yeah. So I get it, but I'm not a fan of that at all. The reason why I got this, and I can already see that the cardstock isn't the greatest, is the artwork is really, really stunning. But yeah, the cardstock is not great. It's not edged. It's a standard sized deck. And I don't know who printed it, but it's there's quite a bit of scuffing, and that's really hard when you have a black border. I will say that this is something that I feel like I would definitely work with the Under the Oak Tarot. I would pair it with that. Oh, it's interesting. It's almost got this, like, it's got a textured finish. Love the trees. I mean, like, there's a skull in there. This is very, kind of reminds me of the Silhouette Tarot. Very dreamy. Oh, so cool. It is dark, and I am really here for this. And yeah, you can see from this artwork how I would be really drawn to this. It's like this magical, crazy, in a way of like, why would you go into that forest kind of crazy, if that makes sense? Not that the forest is crazy, but like, why would you go in there? And it's like, you go in there to face your shadow. Oh my God, that Temperance card. And it's mythical and magical and deep and beautiful, just fucking phenomenal. Like, look at that card. This was pricey. I know, because I'm in Canada, so I know I paid well over $100 for this, and I'm not mad about it. I'm never mad about purchasing decks to support independent artists and creators. Oh my God. Especially when it's this beautiful. These are 2 bonus cards you get with the deck, and another bonus card. This is the first time I've looked through this whole deck, by the way. So 4 of Earth. And these tell a story. I know that it's a little hard to see because they are dark, but I'm right near the window. The detail in this, I mean, you might not be able to see it too much in the video, but the detail even in the background, if you can't see everything, is spectacular. These are out of order, which happens a lot with, oh my God, that page. I want to be its friend. Is out of order, but it happens a lot with print when you print, because they print on big flat sheets, so it's not always going to be in order. And you actually have to, with a lot of printers, tell them to put it in order. So we have dinosaurs. So, so love. Like, this is definitely a shadow work deck for me, and something that is going to have me, I think, like, inspecting quite a few things of my subconscious. Probably a deck that I would work with when I'm feeling like I could handle the messages. Oh, that Knight of Fire is so cool, because I don't think this deck is kind of one of those decks that you can fuck around and find out, you know. I think this is one of those decks that if you go to it for answers, it's going to tell you, and you may not necessarily love it, but oh my gosh, that is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Oh, I love that. So skies for air. Oh, the background imagery. So I was told that this was not AI generated, because, as you know, I do not share nor support nor review. I love these pages, are so great. Any AI decks, but isn't this gorgeous? Now, because it was out of order, I have no idea if all those cards were there, so I'm going to, you know, later on take a look through. But besides the scuffing, which, I mean, that's going to happen when I work with it, it is just phenomenal. What a gorgeous deck for shadow work. I don't think I showed you the back. So here's the back. It has that UV lamination on some of that sacred geometry design. So this is the Lost Forest Tarot, and it is by Chelsea Santa Maria. Beautiful. This is the Oracle of 11 by Ambi Sun, and I backed this on Kickstarter. And this is the same creator for the amazing tarot deck. Oh my gosh, it's in my freaking bookcase. I will remember at some point. Oh gosh, it's going to really annoy me. I'm so sorry. This is the Oracle deck. And I got the big guidebook. This is written by Shah Rose and illustrations by Ambi-Sun. And honestly, the artwork, stunning. So I'll show you the big guidebook later, but the deck is gorgeous. So it's a 44 card deck inspired by folklores from Southeast Asia. And I mean, I grew up in Australia, so Southeast Asian culture and design and images are something that I know, quite a bit about. I've also traveled to quite a few places in Southeast Asia. I've been to Java. I have been to Bali. I've been to Singapore. I've been to Thailand. I've been to China, although it's not Southeast Asia, I don't think. But I have traveled in a lot of places. Love to go to Vietnam and Laos. So I was really excited to see this deck. So I don't know a lot about necessarily a lot of the meaning of things, but it is so gorgeous, and I really wanted to support this creator in this work and share this with you all. It was a successful Kickstarter. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, so beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And I know that there are people who are from the region who will just love this and get so much out of it. For myself, as someone who has been to a few of the countries, as I was saying, I can see, there's memories here from my time spent in a lot of those places. But my cultural understanding, of course, is going to be limited. But I know a lot of people are going to be able to connect with this in such a deep way. And I don't often see decks that are specific to the region of Southeast Asia. So I do believe that this is work that is important. Oh, that turtle. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And lovely to have this first edition, the cunning monkey. Oh, I mean, the freaking artwork. Ambi-Sun is so talented. The first rider, just stunning. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Like, I know I just did a quick flip through, but I tell you, I could really look at those cards all day. It has a beautiful matte finish. It's really lovely. The little guidebook comes with information on the region, so Myanmar, Indonesia, Cambodia, Singapore, love Singapore, Thailand, I also really loved Thailand. So Vietnam is somewhere, like I said, I haven't been. Timor, I haven't been, but I have been to a few of these places. Laos, I'd love to go. So something that, I think will speak to a lot of people. So I'm just going to move this over to show you the beautiful, beautiful book. So this was created in 2023, but it came in 2024 for me. So these are the legends. And then So you're getting all the information about the actual legend. So this reminds me a little bit of the Tarot of the Divine, how you get there's the book, National Flowers, Singapore, Timor, Thailand. That's gorgeous. Philippines jasmine is night jasmine is one of my favorite smells. Beautiful. So this is Tales of 11, the first edition by Ambi Sun. And I would love to hear if you got this deck on Kickstarter and if you've worked with it. The next two Oracle decks are both by Christina Minerva, and these were gifted to me by the creator, and I'm finally getting a chance to show you the cards. They are an independent deck that I found actually on Etsy. The first one is the Tea Time Oracle. Comes in a little tuck box, and then we have a little guidebook. And as many of you know, like creating something on your own is not always easy, and it's amazing that people can now do this. Love like the tea cozy back. This is pretty standard. Actually, I think it might be a little bit bigger than a standard tarot card. This is all about the magic of tea and making tea, so the different types of tea, and the feeling and the medicine of the tea and the ingredients. And it's such a sweet, I love this the tea tags deck. The back is the background is like the cloth, the cheesecloth or whatever kind of cloth that can be used to make little tea satchels. And so there's some of them that are types of tea, and then some of them that have got tools like a tea press. And so if you're into kava, if you're into tea magic and medicine through plants and tea, the tea ball, it's so sweet. It reminds me of like a cozy cottage. God, I love banana bread. I make the most amazing banana bread, by the way, if I do say so myself. But it reminds me of like a cozy cottage, which, you know, I love nothing more looking at that cinnamon roll and the banana bread than having a cup of tea and a biscuit or a cookie or cinnamon roll or a banana bread. It's one of my favorite things, and I think that's from having a very English father, and there was tea everywhere in the house. But then just the ritual of tea, and the medicine and tea rituals and are all over. I mean, the little fairy are all over the world. You have tea, of course, like the sacred tea rituals in Japan. There's beautiful tea rituals and the way you greet people in Morocco. So as you saw, there was kava there, which is Fijian, and it's just this, I think it's such a gorgeous, oh my gosh, it's like the house from Practical Magic, like the perfect day afternoon tea. I love high tea. One of my favorite things to do as like a treat is high tea. And then there's the tea I've seen beautiful big tea fields in Indonesia, in India as well. I adore this deck. One of the things we do in my coven is we have teas every month. And this really reminds me of, you know, a lot of the beautiful teas that we have, and how we work it into our magic, because hydration is important, but so is the medicine of herbs and plants and friendship and warm water, and it's just gorge. So that's the Tea Time Oracle, and you get quite a bit in the actual guidebook. You have the tea, the keywords, and then there's actually how to make the teas. So you're getting so much in here. I think it's such I haven't seen it. Like, I don't see people with this deck. I don't see people working with this deck, and I just really wanted to share it because there's so much in here if you're a tea drinker. And then the second deck is the Botanical Blessings, which is a smaller little deck. But again, you get a good chunk of information in here. Christina has not scrimped with giving you information for her decks. And again, it comes in a little tuck box. You know, like I said, it's not something that I get pressed about because I know how hard it is to do this work. We have the backs here, non-gilded, and now we're moving. I'm just going to move this one over a little bit. And now we're moving into the botanicals. And this would be such a fun deck to use in conjunction with the tea oracle. And I was really, really fortunate to have both of these decks sent to me. And I enjoy that there's a background. I have quite a few botanical, like look at the clover. Oh, love that so much. I have quite a few botanical decks, but I have to say this folk cozy witch Bill Chanel vibe is everything. I frickin' adore it. Here it comes. Stinging nettle. This would be on a list of cozy decks for sure. Oh, the little froggy. This makes me want to get my paints out and maybe again, because I was just showing you the tea, but go get a cup of tea and do it. And a weeping willow. I just talked about this recently in a video about what that means to me. Aspen. Pickle, dill pickle. Apparently, I didn't want a pacifier as a baby. I wanted to suck on dill pickles. Random fact about me, I remember my mum telling me that, and I still love dill pickles. And I'm like, cool, I don't know if that's weird or not, but apparently no pacifier for me, didn't want one, not interested, but give me a dill pickle and I was happy. Pansy. Read into that if you want. Bee balm, just so cute. Like, look at this card. A redwood. Yeah, I now really want to get my paints out. Look at that elemental garden. Wouldn't you love this? I know I would love this. Living in a 2-bedroom apartment in one of the most expensive cities in the world. Yeah, not going to happen. But we do have a garden in the shed courtyard. Look at that. Beautiful rainbow. Look at blue lotus. It is just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And if you don't, if you aren't called to this or not something that you really love, maybe just go and give this beautiful artist and creator a thumbs up somewhere on their social to help other people find it. So this is the Botanical Blessings. And here we have, say, giant sunflower, keywords, radiance, balance, and glory. And then some information about the actual botanical itself. So these are both, as I mentioned, by Christina Minerva, Botanical Blessings, and the Tea Time Oracle. I was really into fairy tale stuff in 2024, but now I finally get to work with these fairy tale decks. So this is the Land of Stories Tarot, and I purchased this from Tivada. So that's the box. It's a lovely, sturdy box. Here's the booklet. So it comes in Mandarin and then in English as well. A little booklet. And here is the cards. So the standard, there's no lining. I actually started to chip part of this cardstock when I took it out of the plastic wrap, but it is lovely cardstock. It is matte, thank goodness. This is the back, which has had this beautiful purple stamping. Now, I have a lot of independent decks and I have a lot of fairy tale decks, and I loved the art style. There is so much detail in the art here. As you can see, the titles are also in Mandarin and English. And I really love this art style. It's just something that really connects to my inner child and reading fairy tales growing up. Oh, the skull in that smoke. So pretty. So this is just one of those decks that I know I take out if I want to tap into the archetypes and the stories of fairy tales. If I want to connect with my inner child and work with my inner child. That's such a sad story, the Matchbox Child. The Matchstick Girl, I think it's called in other language, in some instances, iterations. And like a lot of the fairy tale decks, it's always interesting to see what fairy tales are connected with what archetype. And I can definitely see that there has been a lot of thought put into this. With Happily Ever After, we have like the raven, the ant, the fish, and the duck. And of course, you know me, it's fully illustrated or bust, baby. Well, not for all of it, but Rider-Waite Smith based. So very easy to read with. This was an investment. Again, Tovada decks are not cheap. So yeah, this was another deck that was close to 100 Canadian, but I would still use it. I know some people would not, you know. So if you can see through the different suits, there's a color palette, which I really enjoy. But yeah, I'm going to read with this. I feel like this is going to be one that comes out in the springtime. You know, finally getting to the decks that I didn't get time to get to last year. Really beautiful. For the swords. Love that this is blue for the swords. Often blue is for the cups, but I love that it's pink for the cups and blue for the swords. That's beautiful. Swords are one of my favourite suits. Gorgeous. Now, Tovada, and there's a couple like Vermilion, they have never asked me to share anything. They don't pay me anything to share. They don't send me anything for free. This is just a deck that I purchased myself. I really love, and I wanted to share it with you all. So just full disclosure there. All of the indie decks, not ones I'm getting paid to share. Like I don't do that. Just gorgeous. Okay. And then in the guidebook, which as I showed you before, has 2 languages, it's very, very simple. So forward, how to read, reversals, a couple of spreads. But what I do like is you have the actual fairy tale, so Alice in Wonderland, Solomon's Advice, you know, and then in the suits there isn't any fairy tale, but a lot of it can be seen from a fairy tale perspective, which I think it also makes it very usable and very versatile. So this is the Land of Stories Tarot, and yeah, I'm so glad I can now bust it out and start reading with it. Nakisha's Oracle is a deck that I found through a lovely vendor at Newt's. They actually had it as a working deck, and I immediately went to find it and purchased it. And the reason why is because, as you're going to see, I'm just going to get those, is it's so different to a lot of decks that I have in my collection. So we have two little cards with the meanings. It's poker sized, and those are the backs that say tree. And what I really loved about this deck is the cute watercolor, the beautiful watercolor, really. But some of these I have not seen in a deck before, and I really wanted to play with these prompts. So some of the ones that I really loved were like the location, like swamp. I've seen valley before, but I do love canyon, mountain. So this would work really well with the like tarot for the great outdoors. Even the Badlands Oracle that I just showed, desert, crossroads, the shore. So I really loved the versatility of this deck, and just what a cool little deck to use in conjunction with a tarot reading, or to use in conjunction with a Lenormand reading, and just how these elements would play together. Oops, and that's why I really wanted to get it. I fell in love with it and purchased it from I believe it was the Etsy store of the artist and creator. They have a few other decks. This was late 2024, so I'm not sure if they have what they have left. But like Gears, like, oh my gosh, and this reminds me, Gears, Gears was connected to, for me, a reoccurring nightmare I had as a child, which also brought with it a spirit presence and scared the freaking crap out of me. And I knew it was coming, and there were always gears. So like, that's crazy, like that's my connection with that keyword. So I really wanted to share this. And yeah, because I haven't seen it around, and I felt like more people needed to get their little hands on, like, how cool is that deception card, So you got all these colors, and it could be someone's deceiving. You could interpret it, for example, like because of feelings, the emotions, they're having blue emotions, or green for jealousy, or red, they're angry, so they're deceiving you. So you could look at it like that, and all these tangles. There's so much that you can get out of this artwork, and just the key word that it was a heck yes, like immediately went back to after the reading, went and found this and purchased it straight away. And that doesn't always happen. I don't always come across something where I'm just like, yep, absolutely, I don't care how much it is, I'm going to go get it. And I think that there's a bigger version of this, but I think, I can't remember, but I will put it in the link, the shop. And but I liked the versatility of this little, of the smaller size. And so if I quickly look at deception, move on is the keyword there. Really interesting, right? Because I was talking more about like the reason why for the deception and getting drawn into the colors, but there's so much you can work with this deck. And yeah, I'm bringing that into my working space. So this was Nakisha's Oracle. The next two decks are playing card decks from Dark Days Tarot, and it's called The Council of the Four Corners, and this is the Divination guidebook by Ren McMurdo. And so we have a little guidebook here about how to do the playing cards, and I was very fortunate to be sent two versions of this little deck, one in the black and red and the other in the blue and purple. So playing card divination is so fun too, because it's so versatile. You just need a playing card deck. But I love that I now have quite a few different playing card decks, actually a lot. So the boxes are really well done, magnetic boxes. Ren always has fantastic, fantastic production. So the black and white is linen, finished, just quickly. And then the blue and pink are more of a matte paper finish. So, and you can even see that in the way that the white is coming across in the cameras. All right, so let's go through the black and white. So these are, I would say, the jokers, the wild cards. I love that we have the swords here. It tells you exactly what the connection, if you do playing card connection to the tarot. So spades are swords. As you can see, we have that playing card positions of the actual spades. So Jack, Queen, King. I love the tears. And of course, you can just use these as playing cards. You know, you can put this in your collection for camping or, you know, whatever it may be that you take with you. And then if people want to do some divination after you finish playing whatever card game, mine are usually full of swear words, so you can do so. Gorgeous symbols. Beautiful. I love the court. It feels so weird, like switching your brain to, you know, from the court cards of the tarot to the court in playing cards. And I do appreciate that this is matte, you know, matte cardstock. So if you're looking for something that you can use while you're, you know, out camping or wanting to take a deck with you while you're, that gives you both perspectives. I find it really hard not to have the pages, but I mean, those aces of each of the suit can also tell you quite a lot about the message of the pages. There's just a little less about the communication. So we have the blues in the clubs and the spades, and then we have the pinks in the cups and the diamonds, which is pretty regular for playing cards. But cute pocket decks, and you have a little divination guide, so really easy to put in a bag and off you go, you know. So it's such a cute idea. Generous, warm-hearted figure demonstrating a balance of emotions and logic, a priest or spiritual leader, King of Hearts. So super cool. And this is the Council of the Four Corners Divination Cards by Ren McMurdo. I would love it in the comments if you would let me know what deck out of the ones I just shared with you was one you've never heard of before. Did I just share with you a deck that was something you had no idea about but now really love? Please pop that in the comments. It takes 2 seconds. Comments are free and so is a like, and it really helps my channel. And I will see you all next time. So stay sparkly, stay grateful, and be a big Care Bear in your heart. And I'll see you next time.